Timmy was known around his neighborhood for being a little mischievous, but always in the best way possible. He had a curious mind and a knack for getting into the funniest situations. One day, Timmy decided he was going to surprise his mom with a homemade birthday cake. He had seen her bake many times and thought, how hard can it be? He walked into the kitchen with full confidence. I'm going to make the best cake ever, he declared to himself, eyes sparkling with excitement. First, he pulled out the flour, sugar, eggs, and all the other ingredients. Then he got the biggest bowl he could find and began pouring everything in, one ingredient at a time, with no real plan. Well, eggs were cracked all over his shirt. But Timmy was undeterred. It'll still taste good, he muttered, as he tried to mix everything with a spoon that clearly wasn't big enough. He looked at the recipe for a moment, but that didn't seem very fun, so he decided to wing it. Who needs recipes anyway? He thought. There was flour on the counter, sugar spilling onto the floor, and eggs. Instead, he added extra sugar, just because it looked yummy, and a whole lot of chocolate chips, because, well, who doesn't love chocolate? After the batter was kind of mixed, Timmy poured it into the cake pan, only it wasn't quite the right size, so he had extra batter. Thinking it would be fine, he used a cupcake tray to fill up the rest. Then it was time for the oven. Timmy wasn't sure how long to bake it for, but he decided to just guess. 20 minutes later, he opened the oven to find, well, not cake. The pan had overflowed, the cupcakes had erupted like volcanoes, and everything was a gooey, chocolatey mess. Oh, Timmy said, staring at the disaster. He tried to salvage it by cutting it into pieces, but instead of cake slices, he ended up with little blobs that were more like chocolate pudding than cake. In the end, he presented the disaster to his mom with a proud grin. Look, I made you a special cake, he said, trying to hide the fact that it looked like something that had exploded in a food blender. His mom took one look at it, blinked, and then burst out laughing. Well, Timmy, she said, I can't say I've ever seen a cake quite like this. But Timmy wasn't discouraged. It's called Timmy's Special Surprise Cake, he explained. It's a new recipe. In the end, they all had a good laugh and ended up eating the cake anyway. It was a little lumpy, a little too sweet, and definitely not what anyone expected, but Timmy was proud of his effort and the fact that he didn't set anything on fire. And from that day forward, Timmy's special surprise cake became a family tradition, though no one quite knew how to explain it to guests.